Hello folks, I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Welcome to the shop. Y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable. Today we're doing a project for the wife. And when the wife wants something, we make sure it happens, right? Let's get started, guys. I'll show you what we're gonna do, okay? We're starting off putting a tenon on this end. Let's go ahead and mark it. Let me just remind everybody, if you're gonna use this method to mark your tenons, absolutely make sure that the point closest to you is the one touching the wood and the other one is not. The last thing you want is that slung up in your face. Okay, we're working with the 40/40 bowl gouge today. I like to have that tenon nice and square where it meets the wood and also fairly straight across the end there. Okay, let's get started turning here. Now, like I said, this is a project my wife requested. Do everything I can to make this a nice one. Not that I don't always try to make it a nice one, but you know, especially for the wife, you want it to look good. Start off getting this end straight. I don't always get 100% square cuts with a chainsaw. And since this project is going to have a lid, we'll go ahead and start right about here. And we're just going to make a cut in. Primarily what we're doing is separating the bark from the main piece of wood, and then we can take a roughing gouge and peel that off. Because we're not going to want bark on this end. Now let's take our bowl gouge and come in here and do just a little bit of shaping. And then we're going to round that over. Let me show you what I mean here. This lid is going to fit onto this box. So we want to have a little bit of bark here, or a little bit of room between the wood and the bark, because we're going to bring this down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sand this real quick and then we'll part it off. Okay, so that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and part that lid off, or start the parting process. I won't part it all the way off. Okay, we'll leave that little bit on there. So all we're doing is taking it real easy with this detail gouge, parting that off. All we need is just a little bit of sanding in there, the lid will be done. And I've made a couple of statements about how I like to hollow, and I do. However, it is 103 degrees in this shop. Now I do have a fan blowing on me, so it feels a little cooler than that where I'm standing, but not so much that I'm bragging about it. So we're going to drill this out, and I'll just let you know that I started off with a 1 inch. I'm going to a 1 3/8 and then a 1 3/4. And the only reason I'm doing that is supposedly to speed this up. Now with this mini lathe, you can't just run this bit in there like you can with the bigger lathes. I think it'll speed it up a little bit, but how much, I'm not sure. Okay, so we got this drilled out. I believe that's 1 3/4. Time for us to kind of shape this a little bit, and then we'll size our lid to fit in here, and then we'll hollow it. So what we're going to do here is mark where we want our bottom to be. Okay, we've got complete separation. Now I'm going to make this round. Number one, it's just one less thing flying at you that's rough, that will cut you, scrape you, and hurt you. I'm going to basically make it so that we have sapwood at the top and the bottom around the lid on the top, just a little above where it sets on the table. So all but this one little spot we have sapwood. So we're going to make one more little cut. And that should take care of us there. Now, before we start hollowing, we want to fit our lid. In order to do that, we're going to use our calipers. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We'll try this little scraper here. Oh, it's close. It's not quite halfway in there. We may be hitting this now, so let's take that down just a little bit and just make sure. And we need just a little bit more. That's about a perfect fit. All this is just a piece of wood to go over the live center so that I can butt it up without it poking a hole in the end of that. That may be exactly what I want right there. Let's see. Perfect. Looks great. As much as I do like the way that ring tool cuts, that chattering drives me crazy. So I'm going to switch over to this carbide tool, which has a cupped cutter on it. So it cuts much the same. Let's see how the ring tool does with that closer up. Let's take a look. I'm not going to get this real thin because this bark is real thick. There's a good 1/4 inch plus of bark here. I can probably bring a little bit more out of that. We're parting this off. Let's see if that gives us a little bit better light on the subject. It does. Switch over to left-handed so I can part with my left hand and catch with my right. And make sure that's right up against there. We want this snug. We don't want to over tighten that. And we're going to go ahead and put it all over the bark here, as well as on that part we just turned and sanded. Okay, so we've got the boiled linseed oil back on that. We'll leave that set just a few minutes. Okay folks, so this is for my wife. Believe me, she deserves way more than that. Made out of pecan wood. Green when we started turning. I'm sure it's still green now. We started this morning on these. Got a nice little lid on it. And I've got her another piece that's just an open box. And I think she's going to like them both. Here's one more shot of it. Nice little box, something for the wife. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and maybe your wife can talk you into making her one. Folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.